Hi, I'm Eric Johnson here at the Owen Graduate School of Management of Vanderbilt, and I'm here today with Rick Moss. Rick is the CFO of Hanesbrands. Welcome, Rick.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited to hear your talk today, and one thing in particular always captured my imagination is technology in your business and the fact that we've been able to kind of innovate and do things that really are driving sales. And so when you think about that innovation strategy that Hanesbrands has been driving, what's behind that? What's sustaining innovation for Hanesbrands?
Well, we think of ourselves more as a consumer products, a consumer packaged good type company, as opposed to necessarily an apparel company with fast fashion and that sort of thing. We're selling everyday products that customers want and need and use every day of their lives. And so our goal is to establish a lifelong relationship with the consumer, really understand what's important to them. So our innovations are based on that understanding of what the consumer really cares about, the things that really matter to them. Like 10 years ago when we went tagless, that's what the consumers told us. Boy, that tag just irritates me to death. And so we figured out how to take the tag out. And so it's that kind of innovation that's responsive to what the consumer really cares about that's helped us to maintain that leading market position with our products with the consumer.
But some of those are technology based. That's the thing that I find so interesting. We often don't think about apparel companies as technology companies, but for example, the Fresh IQ initiative that you've been doing to control bacterial growth, and what is underlying that technology strategy for Hanesbrands?
Really at the core of it is the fact that we own our own supply chain. We manufacture 90% of everything that we sell. So we understand from the very beginning, from that first sheet of cotton that comes out, we understand from the very beginning what goes into that product and how everything fits together. And so when you combine that innovation based on consumer preferences, strong consumer preferences, we really understand, and a data-driven approach to the consumer. When we understand that, we can then take that learning and build on our supply chain, and that then enables us to bring these technologies to the fore and do it in a way that makes it accessible on a value basis to consumers. So did we invent the Fresh IQ concept? Not really, but because we make 2 billion things a year, we're able to bring it to the consumer in a value way at a low cost.
So it's really adopting these technologies driven by your deep understanding of the consumer that really drives your technology strategy, innovation strategy.
Exactly.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Well, everybody that comes through, I always love to ask them a little bit about leadership, and I'm curious if you could share a leadership lesson for our audience.
Gosh, I've got so many screw-ups that I can share with you what not to do. I remember when I was a banker working here in Nashville, I was in charge of the product management group at the bank that I worked for here, the old First American Bank.
Wow.
And one of my young product managers came in, and she had developed her annual product plan for a particular service that we provided to corporates. And so I went through and I marked it up. I got out my red pen and I marked that thing up and gave it back to her, and bless her heart, she almost cried. And
she wasn't expecting that.
She wasn't expecting that. And what I realized, my learning for that is I felt so bad because I'd made her cry. And I looked back at the changes that I'd made, and I realized that I wasn't correcting her errors. I was writing it the way I would have written it. Wow. And so I realized, wait a minute, I can't, as her boss, as her leader, I've got to develop the talents that she has inside of her and not try to make her do things always exactly the way I would do it. And it's been one of the great lessons that I've tried to remember as I've been developing young talent in organizations ever since, to let them be themselves, but let them be their best selves, so that they feel comfortable with that growth that they're experiencing in their career.
Wonderful lesson. Well, Rick, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.